Jim Bob Cooter is the offensive coordinator of the Colts, and Jim Bob Cooter is asked a lot about Anthony Richardson. I tried to ask a little bit of a different question about Anthony Richardson because all you hear about him is that he's only started 13 games, and reps mean everything. And I thought when I asked that question, it's a little bit into this scrum with Jim Bob, I thought that the answer really speaks to why it's altogether not that important that he only had 13 starts. There are a lot of guys coming into the NFL who started a whole lot of games in college, and it doesn't matter a damn that they did. I don't think it matters a hell of a lot that Anthony Richardson didn't. And I think Jim Bob Cooter's answer speaks to that.
Good stuff up there.
We'll start with AR. What did you think of his performance yesterday and just sort of the progress he's made, particularly over like the last week and a half or so?
Yeah, making progress. We talked about this last time I was up here. Training camp's a great time to put your work in and hopefully improve. And Anthony's been doing a good job of putting his work in, and it's showing up on the practice field. Had a couple nice days here, made a couple nice plays, a couple good drives. We've been doing some more sort of call-it periods. I think Coach Steichen's talked to you guys about where we don't have a script. You can't study exactly the plays that are coming. We just got to go play football, which is what we are eventually going to do right out there on the field. And so we kind of find out a lot about the guys. And we had a couple situational sort of drills where, Anthony was able to lead us down and get a touchdown or get a 2-point conversion, things like that. So put together a couple good days, and we got to keep that going, right? It doesn't stop with a couple good ones. You just got to keep on driving day after day to improve. And so far he's done a great job of that. And hopefully we'll keep him heading that direction.
It seems like his accuracy and touch are just getting better in the past few days. What do you think kind of leads to that for a player that's as young as he is?
Yeah, accuracy is repetitions. It's rep after rep after rep. And accuracy is really a couple things, right? It's exactly where you throw the football, but it's also knowing where your receiver's going to be. I know that such and such receiver is going to make his break at exactly this point. So now the ball looks a little more accurate, but it's really just your understanding of how your receiver is going to run that route. And that's kind of what we do in training camp. That's this time of year. It's probably happening around the league. So, throwing a couple nice balls, coming along, things are going, kind of getting a little bit better each day. And I think that's a part of the training camp progression is, hey, we're working on sort of accuracy at the quarterback position. Obviously, that's kind of a core trait of that position. But within that comes the work we're doing with the receivers and how we're sort of getting on the same page.
What's your impression of Alec Pierce so far?
I think Pierce has had a really nice camp. There are quite a few routes that he is running a great route, and it's just on the backside of a progression, and the ball goes somewhere else, and we're watching the tape, and you go, man, look at that route. That's a good route. He's open. Just kind of done that over and over and over and over and over. So he's a true pro coming to work ethic, day in, day out, consistency, just preparation, all the things we talk about. It's really showing up for him and how he's improving and how he's sort of having a nice camp to start. Like I said, I don't know what the results are exactly with the targets. We got good charts and stuff upstairs, but he's doing a really nice job out there. And like I said, kind of getting open a lot more than he isn't.
The second year for a receiver, the rookie season, they're kind of swimming a little bit. Do you feel like in your career you've seen the second year for a receiver, it's a little easier for them to start making route adjustments, that kind of thing?
I think historically that probably holds up. I think there's some truth there. A lot of years ago did a study on rookie wide receivers and their sort of impact, their sort of production in year one versus year two versus year three. And it's probably that way with a lot of positions, honestly. But going from year one to year two is a great time to get that growth because you're more comfortable with the NFL schedule, the offseason schedule. You're settled in your city. A lot of those things that you have to deal with as a rookie where NFL's brand new, the practice schedule's brand new, you're in a new city, you're getting a paycheck, you're getting all the stuff that happens with rookies in this league. That second year tends to calm some of that stuff down, and you get to just sort of work on your craft a little more.
With Anthony going against live bullets on Saturday, what are some things you're looking for out of him, when he has the ball in his hands in the pocket?
Just making good decisions consistently, protecting the football, delivering the ball with accuracy, on time to the right guy, and that's easy for me to sit up here and say, right? A lot of coaching cliches, but we want to go play good football. We want to do it consistently, and we want to take care of that football so that we have the best chance to kind of have success as an offense.
Coach, it's pretty common that position groups travel in packs, but this offensive line, they walk out on the field for practice in unison. They sit and eat together. I know that those leaders have taken a lot on their shoulders, improving upon last year. How much do they illustrate, embody, and have the investment in? It's not just the time we spend together on the field or in the meeting rooms. It makes a difference each and everything we're doing over the course of the day.
Yeah, I think connection is a big part of this game. Connection as an offense, as a unit, as a position group. Like you said, you can't often find one or two of those guys without the other 13 or whatever. They sit together, they eat together, they're walking, around campus here together. That plays a role in communication. That plays a role in, hopefully connecting a little bit better with that guy beside you or that guy, two guys down from you, where now you make a certain call on a run play, and gosh, you just sit there and you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner with the guy, so he's got it, right? He knows the way you talk. Maybe you don't say it exactly right, but he knows what you're talking about. You're able to get that job done. I think connection's always been a really big part of this game, and those guys are doing a great job this camp.
With the other day, style of offense with more RPOs and things of that nature, how does it change what the offensive line is going to need to do this season?
Probably asks for a little more versatility in blocking type. There are different things we can do schematically, like you brought up, some of the RPO things, where within the rules that are currently sort of set up in the NFL, you have to block things a certain way, and it does change maybe how far I can drive a defender downfield, or how quickly I can get up on a second level defender. And those are things that coming in, putting some of these schemes in and really repping these things that the guys have to work on and adjust to, because it might not be something they've done their whole life, right? College football, they do a lot of the RPO stuff, but you may not be called for being downfield. Sometimes you can be 3, 4, 5 yards downfield. In college football, they tend to throw those flags here. So there's adjustment going on with the techniques, with the scheme. Quite frankly, it's kind of a lot. It's kind of the way the world works in the NFL. There's going to be the next set of schematic changes. There's going to be the next round of these things coming, and guys have to move and adjust in all manners, but the offensive line's a big one right now.
Do you have to tell Anthony going into the preseason game, like, okay, we know you can do a lot of things with your feet, but be careful with the end of those plays,
It's a fine line. Over the years, I've kind of tried to figure out my personal theory on the best way to coach those guys, and you don't want to take their natural playmaking ability away. You don't want to invite caution into their head, but you also want to have them have some understanding of the situation and the stakes, and kind of what we're all looking at here when we're talking about a preseason game versus, it could be the same as practice, right? We go out and practice against ourselves. We have to have these conversations every day with different positions facing off. Hey, we're trying to get better. We're doing our work, but our practice doesn't usually look like a playoff game necessarily, right? We have to kind of do that in the best possible way. So it's the same thing for the quarterback position. Hey, yeah, you want to go know, hey, it is a preseason game, but we don't want you to change who you are. Just maybe be a little smart at the end of runs, be a little smart at the end of plays, those things.
If you didn't know that Anthony had only started 13 games at Florida, would you be able to tell by working with him and watching him in practice?
That's a tough question to answer. I mean, Anthony's doing a really nice job of sort of getting better from Tuesday to Wednesday, Wednesday to Thursday, Thursday to Friday. That's the job of all our players, and Anthony's showing up and doing that. It's reps are reps, but the more reps we can get with each other, like I said earlier, like more reps we can throw to Alec Pierce and Pitt and Granson and Downs and all these guys, right? We're going to get better and better throwing the ball accurately at the quarterback position. It's the same thing with just making a run check, right? We may have a play where we like play number 1, but gosh, if we see this one look, Anthony, you got to get us to play number 2. And that's probably as new for Anthony Richardson here as it is for any other quarterback coming out of college, because it just doesn't happen a lot in college. So, a lot of things are new in this world, and we got to go get reps of them and see if we can get better at it.
What's it like seeing Shaq Leonard on the opposite side? You talked about seeing Kenny, but also seeing a linebacker that obviously changes games.
Yeah. Well, you better know where he is, right? If I'm a quarterback making a decision in the pass game, I need to know where he is. He gets his hands on a lot of footballs. If I'm running the ball or catching the ball, we work ball security every day. I'm sure that's the most exciting 3 minutes of y'all's day for getting stories out of. But, hey, we work it because of guys like Shaq in this league, man. I mean, turnovers are the name of the game on defense a lot of times, and protecting the ball is the name of the game on offense, just for sort of long-term offensive success, right? It's not real fun or exciting, but it's important. And Shaq's created a lot of turnovers over the years. Sadly, I've seen a few of them on teams I've been a part of, so I'm excited to be on the same side as him, and keep going against him in training camp here and try to keep him off that leaderboard. But it's tough, man.
The other day, Quentin said one big thing, how they judge how the offensive line is doing out here, is just the push they're getting on the first level, the holes they're opening up. What are you guys seeing from them in film from the practice?
Yeah, so I think last time I was here, I was saying, gosh, I'm excited about these pads getting on, right? I'm excited when the pads come on to see what we do. Well, the pads are on, right? The pads are on. We're going sort of battling against our guys up front. And, hey, we're winning some, we're losing some, but there are some times where our guys are really creating sort of excellent movement, excellent sort of distance forward at the point of attack to really help those runs, right? Sometimes not always maybe obvious to the fan at home why a certain run play might work, but it could be that center and that guard just moving that D tackle 1 extra yard, right, or 1.5 yards extra, opening that hole up, and now it's a true sort of two-way go off another block, and there's a lot of space. So the guys have done a really nice job. There's been some excellent reps in camp where we've really kind of tried to take a second out and highlight, hey, this is pretty good here, guys. Take a look at this. This is what we want this double team to look like. Hey, the ones here's a great double team from the ones, right? 2s and 3s, let's emulate this. Let's do this with our group too. So it has shown up quite a bit. The pads are on. I mean, we're about to the point in camp where the Colts defenders kind of know what we're running, and we kind of know what they're running, and we're all just kind of banging our head against the wall, with little adjustments and stuff to defeat each other. But the guys up front are battling and doing a really nice job.
Gus just mentioned that what he wants to see from the defense is working on the fundamentals and not trying to make things too hard. So for you with the offense, what do you want to see on Saturday?
Yeah, same thing. Want to play good ball and sort of show that we understand what that means. Protecting the football, playing within our fundamentals, right? Blocking, throwing and catching, just really simple, boring sort of things that don't make for good quotes, but are good football, right? It's preseason game 1. We're going out to get better, but we're also going out to sort of show what we've learned, show what we've put together these first couple weeks of camp.
That's Jim Bob Cooter, and Jim Bob Cooter's a smart guy, friendly guy, and a guy who's going to lead this offense and be creative with it. And nobody asked about Jonathan Taylor, but you know what he's thinking about Jonathan Taylor. My God, if we could get Jonathan Taylor out on the field behind that offensive line with this quarterback and these receivers, we got a chance to raise some hell. You can see it in his eyes. We'll see if we see it on the field.